What did you just say?
I said that I'm so grateful that you're my mama.
Can you say that a bit louder?
I said I am so grateful that you're my mama.
Oh, I love you so much, my queen. Story time, okay. The video you saw in the beginning, I just recorded this like 10 minutes ago. I picked my daughter up from the bus stop. We literally just walked into the door. We went to the kitchen. I asked her what she wants to have for lunch. We're just talking our afternoon program because they want to go somewhere. I just got back from London yesterday. And while I was still in London, my daughter had fallen asleep in the school bus. So every day, it has been very hard for me to allow her to take the bus. But I had a conversation with her school, with her teachers. They assured me that they will make sure that she enters the bus and I will be in our bus stop for her to come home, to come out of the bus. But now I wasn't home. I was in London. So her dad wanted to pick her up. She did not come out of the bus. So he panicked, as I would have. He called me in London. He was like, Malia did not come out of the bus. I was like, what? While he was already on the way to her school, he got to school. They told him how she entered the bus, what happened. He called me back and he was like asking me of a specific friend of hers if she could be there. I started calling her friend. I called the school and I informed them that she did not come home. So immediately after I got the phone with the school, with the teacher, I called the local police station and I told them what happened. If any bus driver has told them anything, if anybody called, nothing like that happened. I then called her friend that lives just down the street. I called the mom and I was like, hey, can you please ask your daughter if my daughter was in the bus with her? So I had the girl in the background. She said, yes, Malia was in the bus. She fell asleep. I called her, but she did not wake up, so I had to leave the bus. So I was like, that means she has to be in the bus. I called the teacher back and I told her this is what happened. The teacher now contacted the bus company and the bus company now called the driver. In the meantime, my children's father was running around looking for her, driving from her friend all the way where she could have possibly left the bus. We didn't know in the meantime that she was already on her way home. The bus driver noticed her when he was already like 2 villages after our own, because she fell asleep lying on the seat. And because she's still small, she's only 6 years old, her backpack was in front of her on the floor and she was lying on the seats. So when he looked back, there was no child in the bus, not knowing that my child was at the very last bench and she had fallen asleep there. So once he noticed it, he rushed with the bus, like he drove the bus back to our bus stop and dropped her in front of our house. She came out, my daughter was here waiting for her. So all of a sudden my daughter called me and said she's here. I said, how do you mean she's here? Meanwhile, mind you, in the meantime, we have alerted everybody, her friends, my dad, her school, the police, everybody. In the midst of like 15 minutes, a solid 20 people were looking for my child. Not knowing, like when my daughter put the phone on my smaller daughter, like my older one, put the video on my daughter, she was like, Mommy, why are you crying? I saw her face, she was just puffy and sleepy, and she said I had fallen asleep in the bus. And I was like, guys, I can't literally not. So the bus driver was not even bothered. He wasn't like, oh, I know where this child belongs, so let me just go and take her home. He didn't like, and of course, I appreciate him so much. He was like, why should I alert the police or my company? I know this child, let me just go and take her home. So wholesome. So this morning, My daughter wanted to go and buy him flowers, so we went to the store, we bought him flowers. Then we met him in front of the school. I dropped them off in school. And I went inside the bus and I told him, thank you so much for taking care of my child when, this happened. He was like, hey, I saw her really late. That's why it took time for her to come home. And I was like, I was so worried. I called the police. I called the school. He said, why would you do that? She was with me. She was safe. This man is so wholesome. He was just so caring. And he was like, she was just sleeping. So, and he has not been working with this company for long, maybe like 6-7 weeks now. And he was just the sweetest and kindest human. And he was like, oh, there was no need to worry. She was safe all this while. I didn't have your phone number. I would have called you. That's it. So the video you saw in the beginning of this video, we got home from school, we were like talking about her lunch and everything. I was like, I'm so glad you're here and I've missed you so much. I just got in last night. I only saw her this morning when she went to school. She had breakfast and then I dropped them off. So I told her, I'm so glad you're here. I was really worried about you yesterday. And then she said, Mama, we have gone over this. It's fine. I'm fine. I just fell asleep. Nothing happened to me. But if I tell you guys that in this 20 minutes, 25 minutes from the moment I got the call that my child was not coming out, that she didn't come out from the bus, till my daughter called, I have gone through every, and I mean every single scenario of what could have happened to her. I don't wish this feeling upon anybody, ever. And please, hug your children a little tighter today. Hug them a little tighter tomorrow. And just remember, and that sounds so terrible, but just remember that nothing is granted. Tomorrow is not promised. And just be grateful. Just be grateful.